Hey, let's recap The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 3, entitled 4 Walls and a Roof. This episode focuses on the group that is currently at the church at St. Sarah's, as opposed to Carol and Daryl, who are chasing after Beth's van. So we begin with Gareth taunting Bob right after he chopped off his leg, barbecued it, and ate it, and shared it with all of his Terminus friends. He tells them where Carol and Daryl are, so we get that plot point pushed into the episode. But then Bob starts cackling like a madman, saying that he was bitten when he was in the food storage cellar, and they all just ate tainted meat. They raise the question of what will happen if you eat somebody's flesh that has already been bitten. Is it infected? Well, everybody's already infected, but will it kill you? Sasha's out in the woods looking for Bob. She can't find him. She's really paranoid. So she goes back to the church and confronts Gabriel. She gets all up in his face, and he admits that he is the one who is condemned, that we saw the message outside of the church. It's him. He's the one who's guilty, and he's going to hell, or he feels that way because he admits that he didn't save his flock. He selfishly saved himself by not opening the doors when a crowd of walkers were, coming for him. So he didn't save his people, and he's the only one alive because he was selfish that way. Bob shows back up, with a cut-off leg, and he admits that he has been bitten and he is dying. Ford wants to get the heck out of there. He wants to take Eugene and go to Washington, D.C. And now Rick is saying, no, we have to stick together. We have to find Carol and Daryl, and then we can go. Because he's like, we're not leaving without one of our people. We just got the gang back together. And Ford's like, no way, we are getting out of here. And so Glenn and Maggie make a compromise. They say that they will go with them if they stay until tomorrow and help them fight Gareth and the other Terminus guys. They come for Bob. Everybody's in the church, but they see a couple of people leave. And so they assume that they took the strongest fighters out away to hunt or something. So they come into the church knowing that it's only Carl and Susie Crabgrass and a few other people who are fighters. And so they get into like a real trap here, overconfident, And so then Rick comes in behind him, and there's Michonne, and you got Sasha, and everybody pointing guns at them. He just viciously kills him, because, Rick is really vicious and no mercy at all. He promised he'd kill him if he saw him again, and he keeps that promise. So the sad thing about this is that the group has now split up. Maggie and Glenn agreed to follow General Ford's team all the way to D.C., and Tara's going with them because she's guilt-riddenly clung to Glenn. And so we got 6 people in the bus on their way to Washington, and Ford gives Rick a map in order to follow them once they find Daryl and Carol. So unfortunately, Bob dies. He and Sasha have a really memorable goodbye. Rick's been all about taking care of Judith and bringing new life into this world, and he's kind of taking with that what Bob had said in the previous episode about waking up from this nightmare and creating a better future. So a good thing about his death is that Tyrese was able to kill him before he turned, which is a huge thing for Tyrese, because if you remember, he was like swearing off killing walkers after the whole incident with Lizzie and Mika, and Carol's like, Tyrese, you gotta pull it together, you gotta save people, and he overcame that when he killed all of the walkers for Judith, and he does this again for Sasha by making sure that Bob doesn't turn after he dies. So when the fight breaks out and, there's all these dead people in the church, Gabriel's like, this is the Lord's house. And Maggie says, no, it's just 4 walls and a roof. Which is really, really a great line because it was the title of the episode, but it really symbolized the absence of religion or morality in this show. Because now, the situation in the world, there's no room for religion or morality in this world. There's nothing sacred, there's nothing holy, because it's just dead and gone. So Michonne finds Daryl in the woods. He turns and tells somebody to come out. We don't know if this is Beth or Carol or somebody else, but it gives us a little taste of what we're going to expect next episode, which is when we see what happened to Daryl and Carol when they followed the black car with the white cross on it. So we're going to see where Beth was taken and what she's been doing since then.